Just having a little play with this new toy here. It's the Portapec H4M Mayhem edition. Completely new thing for me, although it's been out for a while. There's been mixed reviews on the performance of this little radio, but I'm pleasantly surprised with how it's operating at the moment. I'm using the Fire Stick on the top of the car. Propagation's excellent at the moment, and yeah, I've just got an adapter here to take it from a PL259 to SMA connector. Now I'm just having a little listen to 27.7, the SSTV frequency for 11 meters. In the moment, I'm just making a little recording just so I can see if I can maybe demodulate some of the pictures later. There's a stop symbol for me to end the recording. There's a lot of settings that can be altered here. There's the LNA and VGA settings, the low noise amplifier and variable gain can be changed. I find myself altering that quite a bit, unfortunately, which is a bit of a nuisance, but it needs to be. You need to tweak it a bit because otherwise it can overload quite easily. Just taking a bit of time out here. I've just done a bit of a gym session. Done about my hours gym session every other day now. Do the gym for nearly an hour. This is just one of many things that this radio can do. It can transmit as well. It can decode various different modes. But I'm just using it as a little receiver here, just having a little play. It sits in my car most of the time, wrapped up in a little Texan cover for an old PL something shortwave radio. It fits in there quite nicely. The beauty, of course, on this one is that you've got a little bit of a screen as well that you can use to identify signals too. So at the moment I've got it set for LNA 32 dB, and the variable gain is set for 36. The far right hand side is the volume, got it set for 88 at the moment. I've not really been able to work out what the numbers above the 20k on the right mean. 150 by 42 by 27, some sort of timer. And like I say, I've got very minimal, I've hardly used any space at all for my recordings. I'm going to stop the recording now, just by pressing the little button here. Have a little tune around, see what's about. As I say, propagation continues to be excellent. No idea who's on 720 at the moment, but this radio's got the ability to transmit as well. I did a wee test yesterday on CB, brought the power right down. It's only milliwatts coming out of this thing, so I just did a little test, and yeah, I was able to hear myself on a local radio. And it transmits on multi-mode as well. You can transmit CW, FM, AM, SSB by the looks of it. So pretty cool. It can be used as a little QRP rig. Very QRP though. There you go, look. A bit of POC there. 27.885 in the FM mode. That's just sounds like it's just got stuck in preamble there. Oh, that's a shame. Moving on. So AM, got a CW. If I just change the step size to, let's say, 1 kilohertz, just bring that back up to 32. I quite like 32. I don't think it sounds too bad, guys. Yeah, some people said it had a problem with generating its own interference. I've noticed that medium wave isn't brilliant. The screen appears to create some hash, which isn't great. So medium wave frequencies below about 1 megahertz seem to be a bit of a write-off on this thing. But otherwise, I think it sounds pretty good. This is a bit of 10 meters CW. Doesn't sound too bad, does it? FT8 incoming. I wouldn't mind it if this had a little FT8 decoder. That'd be quite cool. It doesn't at the moment. Right, let's move on quickly from that. So already I'm overloading it a little bit here. Not sure that these are real frequencies. That's a beacon. Loads of them. Ten meters is alive and kicking. It's got a little setting here on the right hand side, I can modify where the mic comes from. There's a little microphone just down here. You can use the internal microphone, or you can select an external microphone connection. I haven't done that yet. I've just used the internal for testing, and it works pretty well. There's various settings to amplify your voice as well, give it a bit of a boost, which I found it did need. Actually, it needed about 16 dB, and then you could be about a couple of feet away from the microphone actually, and it didn't sound too bad. One of the little things I found, got to be a bit careful with actually, the receiver has operates on an SD card for many of the apps to operate correctly. There's a wee SD card slot at the top here. There it is. Now, I made a bit of a mistake because when I put it in, it fell through. It fell actually through inside this clear casing, and actually had to try and fish it out, which was a bit of a nuisance. I had to take it apart and try and fish out the SD card from inside the gubbins of the receiver, which was an absolute nightmare, if I'm honest. Yeah, a bit of a pain. It has to be a FAT32 formatted SD card as well for it to operate properly, otherwise it won't. Yeah, it won't operate correctly if you don't have the right SD card. So. No, it's dead here. Don't hear anyone either here. Oh, who's this? Sounds like a local guy. I'll take this live recording up to about 15 minutes, so just give a couple more minutes here and say farewell for the day. Oh, that sounds like David down the road. There you go, a little review, a little overview of the H4M. Let's show you briefly the other menu screens here. This is the main menu here, the receive actually. So you can go back. This is what you see to start with when you kick off the when you press the on button. There's a very useful feature that's been spoken about by people before, which is the battery indicator. I'm pure and simple, charging it from the cigarette lighter output here in the car, and it doesn't take too long to charge. It's a useful screen. So obviously it's discharging at the moment, but one of the weird quirky things I found is that the receiver won't actually turn off if you're applying a voltage to it. So at the moment on this little rocker switch here, or this little switch, the power is on. If I press that down, power will turn off. However, if it's connected to the output power here, the USB power, then it will just not turn off at all. It won't turn off until you take off the voltage, which is a bit of a pain. I would like to have it charging on a standby, but you don't appear to be able to do that. So correct me if I'm wrong. There may be something in settings, but I've not seen that yet. So there is a transmit portion here. I haven't really looked at that. I've mainly been focusing on the receive. There is if you want to just use it as a walkie-talkie, you go into the microphone. application, but there are a few receive features, ADSB, and so on and so forth. I've had good success with ADSB. It worked pretty well. AIS boats took it down to the sea the other day, and it worked well there too. It's got a Bluetooth receiver that worked pretty well. POXAG's great too. So all of these work, bar the analog TV that crashes every time I look at it. And you've got a tire pressure sensor as well in there too, which works pretty well too. It's just getting the LNA and gain settings set correctly, and it works fine. I use it, like I say, primarily to keep it in the car now, and it's been great. It's been pretty good, so I can recommend it. I purchased it through the link. If you look for do a search for Tech Minds, Matt did a review of it, and I purchased it through the link that he sent. So what would I like to see personally? I think it'd be great if they could introduce an FT8 decoder. That would work. I'm sure they could implement it. They may have done already. I think that'd be quite good. A little FT8 application. Bit of a mixed bag at the moment. So yeah, FT8 for me. But yeah, I think it works okay. Pretty happy with it. Not a big fan of the case. I think it's a bit too fragile. You can see all the workings inside. I'd like to see it. What I really like actually is a case for it. Really, a rubberized case. So I might have a look for one of those. Various connectors at the bottom for inputs. What are they? Clock input and a clock out. Not seen the need for that yet. Yeah, all in all, not a bad little bit of kits.